You're just not gonna beat 1 and 2. That's all there is.
Hmm?
It just it can't compete with 1 and 2.
Oh, none of them could. But they never can. They never gonna be able to as well. They had too many good freaking characters in those freaking two, and they killed them all off for no freaking reason. Killing freaking characters off more than Dragon Ball Z back then. Fucking, they literally just they don't. The only difference is they don't got freaking Dragon Balls to wish them back. Unless they'll make a freaking DLC where it's like back from the dead or undead, like Ned, freaking stuff. They done killed off so many characters. Characters. I doubt they can even make a Borderlands without them killing off a character. Low key. Even in the freaking Even in like the story games, they kill the freaking some characters off and shit. They kill everybody off. They be killing a lot.
Is Lilith still alive?
I actually don't know. Last time I seen Lilith, she was getting freaking beat the fuck up in freaking Borderlands 3. I think they, I think freaking Tyrene and her brother killed her. I thought they killed her, but I don't know if she in 4 or not. They did her so dirty though. I ain't gonna lie, they did her extremely dirty. That shit was crazy. They did all the freaking OG characters of Borderlands dirty. So the second they freaking did Roland dirty, they just freaking went on a spree of freaking just killing off every main freaking character and doing them dirty. Let's see, is Lilith in Borderlands? No, she not dead. Oh no, they never mind. I remember what they did. They did her dirty. They stole her powers. They made her powerless. they they freaking took her freaking siren powers. They turned her into Krillin. They fucking they just absorbed her shit. That shit was fucked up. Still to this day, freaking Borderlands 3 campaign is like a fucking fever dream. I ain't gonna lie, that shit is cursed. That shit is cursed, like looking back and thinking back on that. That shit was just super cursed. Especially the freaking, those two twins. I mean, the freaking Lipto twins or whatever the heck. That shit was cursed. They were like freaking streamer, like freaking. It was weird. It was like they were like streamer, like YouTuber, freaking podcaster type of twins. It was like a, it was like a parody. It was freaking weird.
Borderlands 3 is the first game I have felt legitimate hype for in years. As a fan of the Borderlands franchise and only recently playing the games on PC as opposed to console, I can safely say this is probably one of my favourite franchises of all time, with Borderlands 2 being my favourite game ever made. But along with all of the shooting, looting, and the unique cel-shaded style, every Borderlands game comes with a story. Now, video game stories are not usually renowned for being the most in-depth stories ever told, and many games struggle to strike a balance between good and exciting gameplay and a fantastic story. The games with good and exciting gameplay usually have either a fairly standard story or one that just plain fucking sucks. And the games with a good story usually have passable gameplay or choose your own adventure games with little to no gameplay at all. But you do very occasionally get an exception to this rule, and Borderlands 2 is an exception to me. While its story isn't anything revolutionary and has a few contrivances here and there, it manages to be fun.
I swear. Yo, every time I see freaking Batman, it's like always somebody on the freaking ground or like dead. Or freaking, and it's always look fucked up. Like it's this freaking victims always look freaking either dead or fucked up. Like super fucked, overly fucked up.
Funny, engaging, and surprisingly dramatic at times. All of this is done by complementing what is already a fantastic base game with fast-paced and addictive gameplay, but they went above and beyond to deliver a good story for this game. It somehow manages to subvert expectations well, has some really funny writing, and has what many people consider to be one of the greatest video game villains of all time, Handsome Jack. Jack wasn't your usual run-of-the-mill video game bad guy, in the sense that not only was he consistently entertaining and charismatic, but he stuck with you throughout the entire game to give you updates on his current predicament and feelings as you progress through the story. Everything from randomly jumping in to insult you.
Freaking Handsome Jack is in freaking Handsome Jack is even in freaking he in Borderlands too, but he's in the adventure freaking Borderlands, the freaking the Tales of the like he's in that one too, which is crazy.
Does that happen
In a
like right
humorous way,
before
to calling you a
Borderlands 2?
douchebag, or to just tell
I think he died. I'm, I actually don't. I actually don't know. I actually freaking don't know. But they give you like more of a backstory of like his.
you he bought a diamond encrusted pony and named it Butt Stallion. But in the later half of the game, you begin to notice a few changes in Jack. He begins to get more desperate, more aggressive, he stops toying with you as much. You begin to start getting to him and start genuinely annoying him. And once you find his daughter, Angel, you start seeing him in a different light than you did before.
You get the hell away from my daughter!
He's still a terrible person with no chance at being redeemed, but you get the sense that he's a broken man with how he pleads for you to stay away and not kill his daughter. He's angry, on the verge of a breakdown, and once you finally kill Angel, he breaks.
this to their own daughter.
He kills Roland, one of the original Vault Hunters from the first game, right in front of you, and captures Lilith with the
R.I.P.
intent to
Roland.
kill you. He stops screwing around with you and is now taking things seriously.
That's where it all started. Then everybody started dying.
Nothing left to lose. See, I'm gonna show you just how much you have to lose, and I got the most powerful siren on the planet to do it with. Lilith?
Freaking Angel died, then freaking Roland got shot in the chest, and Lilith get captured.
Kill the Vault Hunter. We've got a date to keep with the warrior.
After this, you don't get the same relationship you thought you had with Jack, as he gets more spiteful and upset and angry at everything you do, even revealing that he only kept Angel locked up because she accidentally killed her mother, something that we find out is actually true in a side mission in Borderlands 3 that had a massive effect on him mentally. And by the end of the game, along with all of the knowledge that we know about him from the pre-sequel, all we see is a broken man. He was betrayed, beaten down, and lost his wife with only his daughter left. Jack was an outstanding villain who elevated Borderlands 2's story from being pretty good to downright fantastic, which is why, with Borderlands 3 promising to be more story focused, and given the warning that the Watcher gave us in the pre-sequel, and reports of there being more cutscenes in the previous games, I was expecting Gearbox to double down on what made Borderlands 2's story truly work, and to create a game that actually rivaled it. Not surpassed it, but was serviceable enough as a good story. And while they certainly made a better game than Borderlands 2 if we're talking gameplay wise, it's one of my favourite games of the year in fact, the story fell flat on its fucking face. And by the end of the game, I felt unsatisfied, sour, and most interestingly to all of you, angry. So let's have a rant about it, shall we? We begin our story on Pandora 5 years after the events of the Commander Lilith DLC for Borderlands 2, which had Lilith blow up Sanctuary because she hated plant life, and lost the vault key that contained a map to vaults all over the galaxy. So right away there is still no explanation as to why this vault key has a map with a metric assload of vaults on it. I thought the whole purpose of the vault key was to act as a key for a specific vault in a specific planet, like all of the games have handled it. Why was there just a random map on this one specific vault key that led to tons of different vaults located all over the galaxy? Was this supposed to be the Iridian's way of telling people to fuck off from Pandora because of the destroyer? And if so, how did they expect anyone other than a siren to access the map? Lilith just sort of touched it and the map activated by complete accident. And as we learn through Nereid's messages, sirens apparently have no clue what their purpose is or why they're even remotely tied to the Iridians. So sirens are apparently just powerful beings who have no defined origin, they just exist now. That's cool. I guess, but again, how did Lilith activate the map in the first place? And how did the Iridians expect anyone to access it anyway, siren or not? Because I find it a fair bit unlikely that this thing came packaged with a bloody instruction manual. Christ, I'm not even into the first cutscene, I'm already bitching. We actually begin our story with Marcus informing us that the Crimson Raiders, now being led by Lilith, have recruited 4 new Vault Hunters to search for the missing Vault Key, because apparently after 5 years they haven't had this fucking idea yet. Seriously, why is it taking you so long to finally hire a new batch of Vault Hunters to go look for this thing? There's no indication that you hired any Vault Hunters before that. In fact, what the fuck is stopping you from searching it for yourself, Lilith? The argument of her now being the leader of the Crimson Raiders can't exactly be used for this, as Lilith basically has the ability to teleport to any place she wants to, and is one of the most powerful sirens that we know of. Bandits and skags are most likely not going to be a problem for her, I can assure you of that. We are then told that a new threat has gripped the Borderlands in the form of the Children of the Vaults, led by Tyreen and Troy Calypso, which is a psycho cult with every possible bandit clan on Pandora united under it, as
Hey, you're alive.
well as being allied with Malawan that have the goal of opening up the Great Vault, which, what the
Just
fuck is going
barely.
on right now? Who the fuck allowed these basic as fuck Twitch streamers to rise to power and unite every bandit?
You got on Twitch streamers. What the fuck? They not Twitch streamers. They YouTubers.
Clan on Pandora? What the fuck have the Crimson Raiders been doing these past 5 years? Oh no, don't tell me this is a first order situation. Oh, for fuck's sake. I am damn near close to concluding that Lilith and the Crimson Raiders must have suffered severe brain aneurysms in the 5-year gap between Borderlands 2 and now, because that is the only canonically sound way I see any of this making a lick of sense. These people have the goal of fucking up everything. How did you let them rise, you bucket of horse seed?
This is very bad.
Especially when you have a massive army at your disposal and are known throughout Pandora as the one who killed handsome Jack. And while we're on the topic of Jack for a second, even though it may seem jarring at first to have him suddenly be the big bad of Borderlands 2, at least it made sense given the ending of the last game. And at least his backstory and how he rose to power was actually explained in
streamed for 12 hours. It wasn't playing, it just happened. I kept playing I kept playing that one game for a minute.
In the pre-sequel. Look at these two. You think we're going to get a game about these two? You think we need their backstory and how they rose to power? Hope not, because it's actually explained later on in the game through echo logs, and even then it's narratively brain dead. Our 4 new Vault Hunters are Zane Flint, the brother of Baron and Captain Flint, who's an experienced assassin. Amara, a new siren who is famous on her own planet and craves for a challenge, which is character I suppose. Mose, a fundamentally boring character that can summon a Titanfall ripoff to aid her. Why do people like playing her? And finally Flack, who can summon and control beasts and canonically counts as non-binary representation, but no one actually gives a wet fuck because he's a robot that is made of binary.
This guy is fucking stupid!
The new Vault Hunters meet and kick some ass for a bit before hopping on the bus with Marcus, where Lilith begins to speak to them and welcomes them to the Crimson Raiders, to their surprise. Wait, didn't Marcus say that they were answering a siren's call? But they clearly knew about the Crimson Raiders before because of the flyers, right? And why are they surprised by Lilith? I don't know, just a small nitpick. It doesn't actually take away from the story. So despite a few bumps in the road, this seems like a decent opening. I can see things looking up from here.
Be the new recruit.
Oh god, he's back. So as Clapton informs the new Vault Hunters that they've been ordered to infiltrate a COV propaganda center. So that means we have to be as stealthy as possible.
Or we could just get it first and improvise.
So they quickly make work of the camp and are then confronted with the holy influencer of the COV, Shiv. He's a beloved member of the COV with a massive art and he's already dead. The Vault Hunters rescue Claptrap and Lilith comes down to greet them. She says that because she was so focused on finding the map that she didn't notice that Pandora was changing around her as the bandit clans united under the COV. So you didn't notice the massive banners, unruly screeching from the psychos and a whole load of other shit because you were so focused on finding the map that's on the same planet as this was all happening on. You are such a fucking pancake. Did no one else notice this either? Fucking how? What about the B team being led by Brick, Mordecai and Tina? Did they not report back to you, seeing as how they've been fucking about in the middle of the desert for most of the time? Look at this sign. Does this look subtle to you? How did you let this happen? And furthermore, why have you not done much about it?
Locked. Not gonna keep a siren out, though.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call dialogue, and it's very well written. Lilith accesses a computer containing a message from Mouthpiece, who is the COV's mouthpiece. Mouthpiece claims that the Sun Smasher clan have recovered the, and I quote, sacred vault map, and that they are to be accepted and banded under the COV immediately, meaning that Lilith and the Vault Hunters have to beat them to the Sun Smashers. I'm sorry, but what the hell do you mean sacred vault map? Did the COV know about the map the whole time? Fucking how? How the hell could they have possibly known about this map, and why are they calling it the sacred vault map? Is this what their entire goal has been? To gain a sacred vault map they shouldn't even know exists? Judging by the fact that the COV have only started to form over the last few years, and the map that was lost 5 years ago, and with the echo logs we find from Tyrene and Troy on Necrotafeo, what a name by the way, we can tell that Tyrene and Troy only came to Pandora in the last few years as they were stuck on a necrophilia planet for most of their lives. So how could they have known about the map? From my knowledge, Hector only came to Sanctuary because he assumed they had it after defeating Jack. And if this map was really public knowledge to everyone on Pandora, then how in the blinky bill fuck has no one found it until now? It's been 5 years. How could the Sun Smashers have found it now? Were they always close to where it landed? Wow, this is really fucking silly. Especially when you consider the fact that according to the trailers,
10 billion followers demand we join or die.
10 billion. 10 fucking billion? You're telling me that many people on an entire planet haven't been able to find that key yet, and that the COV have somehow had that sort of reach over the last 5 years, and again, how have none of these fuckasses found the fucking map yet after 5 fucking years since it was fucking lost? We're not even a quarter into the story yet, and my brain is fried. Lilith and the Crimson Raiders take over the propaganda center, and the Vault Hunters head over to the Sun Smasher camp. Apparently, the COV have completely trashed it, and the Sun Smashers are nowhere to be found. Suddenly, Vaughn was tied up and left to die by the Sun Smashers because he told them not to mess with the Vault Key, and we learn that the key has been successfully delivered to the Calypsos. I'm still incredibly depressed of how much Vaughn has devolved as a character and now acts as an annoying plank with half the intelligence he originally had. I also hate how Borderlands' humor hasn't evolved from 2012, and as such there were barely any funny moments in this game, and all attempts at humor felt like getting hit around the face with a wet sock. Borderlands 2 is still funny because despite the time period they were in, they still rolled with it and put effort into the writing. exciting.
Tina, you know there are, like, other kinds of food, right? You haven't seriously been living on just crumpets for the last few years, have you?
I do not understand the question.
Here, however, they're trying so hard to recapture the feel of Borderlands' humour, they pretty much lost sight of what made the jokes in that game work, and think that toilet humour and memes were what made the game memorable. Oh, and on top of reusing one of the missions from the previous game, that's just really fucking lazy. So when Vaughn, a character that I used to like from Tales from the Borderlands, is introduced with a title card that adds a description, Bandit Life, as a way to try and make a catchphrase for marketing and then only have him say it like 2 times throughout the entire game, you begin to start wishing that Jack would just pop out of nowhere on Echo and start insulting you again.
What up, my bandit orphan?
No! After Lilith and Vaughn reunite with as much enthusiasm as a sensation of watching paint dry, you head down to the Holy Broadcast Center to finally retrieve the map. Mouthpiece starts talking about live screams and Iridium tier chats, and what woefully out of touch grandma wrote this utter wankfest? Not even modern day Nickelodeon reaches this level of pure unadulterated cringe. Hell, not even Logan fucking Paul is this much of a pandering fool. Fuck off. You confront Mouthpiece and take part in one of the best boss fights in the game, which is really sad considering the rest of them, but not before you're treated to possibly one of the worst lines of dialogue I've ever heard. If I wanted to hear dialogue that is the equivalent of screeching diarrhea, I'd watch an episode of Game of Thrones after season 4. You cheese Mouthpiece and acquire the vault key, but first the Calypso show up on hologram to tell you that the map is busted and to inform you that Tyrene's voice actress hasn't gotten into character yet and sounds like Mickey Mouse if he was high on ketamine.
Oh, you missed the show!
The Sun Smashers have also been killed for apparently betraying the COV by wanting guns and cash instead of being in the family. I'm still incredibly confused as to how you've managed to reach 10 billion people in the space of 5 years, but who knows, maybe psychos have a manipulation kink, who knows. You take the map back to Lilith and she also realizes that it's broken and can't be charged, so she sends you down to Tannis so she can examine and possibly fix it. While this happens, you and Lilith defend her camp from the COV, but first you have a minute of nothing happening while a few lines of code stand in a tent and pretend to work on something, because this game's story is exciting. Seriously, the mission objective tells you to loot the area and wait a minute, what the fuck? Tannis then informs you that Tyrene Calypso is a siren. Cool. She also tells you that she's after a vault. Cool. Okay, but seriously, that's literally like the setup for nearly every single game in this franchise. Tannis only partially fixes the map, because sure, reveals that the only planet can be made out on it is Promethea, which is apparently where the very first vault was found by Typhon de Leon, the first vault hunter. In every location in the game besides Sanctuary, you can find Typhon de Leon's recordings of his adventures. While it doesn't serve that much purpose other than finding some decent loot when you get all 3 in a certain area, it still allows you to get to know this character a fair bit before he's just randomly inserted into the story later on. Couldn't this have been a bit more obvious instead of putting it on the fucking challenge board? Because it actually allows me to get invested in this character and adds a bit of an impact later on. I know that I certainly went after all of these before finishing the area I was in, but that was because I was trying to go for 100% and had no idea this character would ever be mentioned again. Why not make this an optional mission to go for? Because I can tell you now that most players had no fucking clue this was a thing. You throw story important stuff like this to the side, but give delivering burgers its own official side mission. Are you fucking kidding me? Lilith tells you to, that's literally all she does in this game, tells you to head down to the ship they're building called Sanctuary
All I need is some
Wait,
fuel
no,
and
oh
a
come
new
on, come on, no! After you do that, the site is suddenly attacked by, okay, yeah, thanks, Claptrap. The site is suddenly attacked by Tyrene and Troy. For some reason, Lilith is still holding the vault key, like, why would you not leave it inside? This precious alien artifact that you've been searching for the past 5 years? Why would you not leave it inside where it's safe? Are you fucking stupid? We get a terrible cutscene that tries to be intense, but because cutscenes are hard to animate, we get really slow, weightless movements and actions that shouldn't have the impact they do have. I will now give you a recreation of my reaction to seeing this for the first time. We find out that Troy is also a siren. Sort of. Apparently, him and Tyrene being twins means they were both given siren powers, but because whatever higher being or whatever that chooses who gets siren powers is sexist, she's the one who gets the true power, and Troy only acts as a parasite who can use his sister's powers but has to leech off of her to live. You know, just because we needed more questions as to what the fuck sirens are, but sure. Why do only females get to be sirens? Like, I'm not even being a sexist prick, like, I'm just genuinely confused as to why. What? Oh, okay. What chooses who gets siren powers? And how? Is it completely random, or I have no idea what the fuck is happening here? Only 6 sirens can exist at the same time, right? So does Troy count as one of the 6 despite not being a siren? He has the same powers as his sister, so I hope not. Wait, so what happens if Tyrene's leech powers were to leech and take the powers of a siren? Wouldn't that fuck up the whole, Tyrene appears behind Lilith. Lilith looks at her for a full second and then gets grabbed and held up in the air while she drains Lilith's powers, no longer making her a siren and removing her of her Firehawk status. You looked at her for a second and did nothing, you infantile rooster. This isn't the last time she does this, by the way. Lilith is just a fucking potato in this game. The Calypso streamed Lilith's apparent death to their fans without actually killing her for some reason, before leaving her to be killed by the bandits they dropped in, using Lilith's powers. What the fuck? You're telling me that Lilith's powers can just teleport any random bastard from any location on Pandora, yet in the past you could only teleport people that were around her or holding her hand. This could have solved a fuckload of problems, and also how does it work? Do you see whoever you're trying to teleport or something, or does... So you save Lilith and jump on Sanctuary and finally head out into space. We get a nice little tribute to Scooter after his death in Tales from the Borderlands that add more of an impact than anything that happens later on in this game. I will get to this later. Lilith and the main protagonists, excluding you because in this game you don't exist in cutscenes anymore. Again, I will get to this later. Decide that they should keep pursuing the vaults. Ellie turns around and says that the ship needs a name. And then Lilith turns around and says she already has a name. Sanctuary. Which would be an okay line if it wasn't for the fact that during this scene, Ellie is standing behind a massive fuck off sign for the ship that says Sanctuary on it, making the line utterly retarded. So everyone decides to continue and head straight for Promethea, the home of the Atlas Corporation, which is now under attack from Malawan, who are apparently allied with the COV. Fucking where, what, when, who, why? Okay, who thought getting involved with Malawan was a good idea exactly? What if your quest for power made them instantly turn against you? You then have an entire corporation on your hands, you fucking retards. How was this a good idea? When did this happen? And furthermore, where did this happen? How could you have possibly been able to contact Malawan to get this done? You're essentially one massive bandit clan on Pandora. Was it the fact that Tyrene and Troy are sirens, or... Okay, why did this happen? You can see that Malawan are trying to fight a war with Atlas. Why would they then get involved with some other bullshit from 2 hot topic hot sauce motherfuckers that started a massive fuck off cult? And finally, what? As in, what the fuck? I mean, I guess it stays consistent with each of the games centering around one of the weapon manufacturers doing a bit of an oopsie, but it feels like Malawan randomly being shoehorned into the story rather than having it actually make sense. You arrive on Promethea and someone on Echo starts saying that there are bandits coming out of thin air. So I guess there's not going to be an explanation to this insanely overpowered ability that Lilith has seemingly never used, so that's fine. I'm sure of that. Hey, does anyone remember when Lilith got tired out from using her powers and struggled to control them without the assistance of Iridium? Yet Tyrene is somehow able to muster up enough strength to teleport her entire fucking army of bandits to new planets. Why are there no established rules on sirens, you impotent enchiladas? Why can Lilith be this limp-dicked in terms of power, yet Tyrene has no problem with it? We continue to kill bandits for a bit before spotting a woman named Lorelei. Lorelei is trying to help Atlas win the war against Malawan and needs your help in taking back territory. She also sounds annoying when trying to convey any sort of emotion other than dead silence. How the fuck am I able to tolerate Claptrap more than this? She then asked the Vault Hunter if you were sent by Reese, and Zane probably has the single greatest response to this.
Oh, right, I'm Lorelei. Did Reese send you?
Reese? No clue, sorry.
By Reese, she is of course referring to Reese from Tales from the Borderlands, because you can't just have Vaughn and leave Reese out. And he has apparently built Atlas back up over the last 5 years after becoming CEO at the end of Tales. While it's good to see Reese again, I feel like this game has completely fucking forgotten what happened at the end of that game, because there were still no answers as to what happened to Reese and Fiona at the end of Chapter 5, or where Fiona even is for that matter. Why? Why would you just skim over that when it was the biggest question on people's minds, you fucking crumpets? Why, if you were going to connect these two together, would you not add some of the biggest questions, you fucking wankers? There is so much you could do to explain this, but because writing is difficult, there were probably some corners cut or something. I don't know what happened here. Fucking Randy Pitchford and his magic tricks. How the fuck did we go from one of the best video game stories ever told to a story that is bleeding arrows out of its arsehole every time it breathes? Why would you put more manpower into cutscenes if you aren't going to bother with the goddamn story? What was the fucking point? We are now at a point where side missions are more akin to Borderlands 2's writing than the actual story. Fucking kill me. So Lorelei asks for help in recapturing an Atlas base that was captured by Malawan a few months ago, and you take it down no sweat, and it would be cool if Lorelei could do it with you, seeing as how she takes no fucking damage. So you finally manage to contact Reese. Lorelei has a fit over his new mustache, which I think was supposed to be humor, and he tells you to go meet up with his top agent to take down Gigamind. This agent is of course Zero, a friend to Reese in Tales from the Borderlands, and one of the Vault Hunters who took down Handsome Jack in Borderlands 2. Unfortunately, Zero and Maya are all you're getting for the Borderlands 2 Vault Hunters in this game, as none of them are anywhere to be found in this game. No Axton, no Salvador, no Krieg, and no Gage. What the fuck are you doing? Why the fuck would you give the Vault Hunters from the first game their own characters and personalities while also developing them and expanding on them in Borderlands 2? But then when it comes down to Borderlands 2's own Vault Hunters, you just shove them aside. What the fuck? You think people might want to know what happened to these guys? Oh no, I lied. Apparently there's an Echo series of Krieg slowly getting back his sanity, and one Echo randomly placed around Promethea that confirms that Gage is still alive. The continuing stories of the previous Vault Hunters are thrown aside from the actual story and are things that you'll probably find a complete fucking accident on your first playthrough. And even then, they're incredibly piss poor. Krieg's one could get some sort of pass, but Gage doesn't even speak. She just gets mentioned by the dickhead who put the bounty on her head. And Axton and Salvador get completely thrown aside as there isn't even a mere mention of them anywhere. This is how you treat these characters? That is fucking quality. So Zero and the Vault Hunters attack some Malawan troops. Apparently Zero and Zane went to the same assassin school, but that's never elaborated on because fuck potential, am I right? You find a depot and get Zero an upgrade to his sword that allows him to cut through Malawan barriers, but you're then contacted by Katagawa, who is the head of Malawan acquisitions, who offers Zero the chance to join Malawan and says that you mean nothing to him and that you'll be dealt with later, because every time someone has done that in this franchise, it's gone so fucking well. You and Zero go and kill Gigamind and obtain some key information, while also blackmailing Reese into helping you open the vault on Promethea, leading to him saying that his hologram has feelings, which I think was supposed to be humor. Searching through Gigamind's brain— wait, what? Hang on, how can you scan a brain for information? I get that the suspension of disbelief is stretched rather thin in this franchise, but I find it quite ridiculous that you can get troop movements, supply lines, information on Malawan's search for the vault key, and that they're attacking Athenas through scanning a physical thing. Oh yeah, and the next planet in the game is Athenas, the previously mentioned home of fan favorite Borderlands 2 character Maya. So you set a course for Athenas and Malawan are already there, which just— fuck me. Athenas is currently under attack for the possession of a vault key fragment for the vault in Promethea, and seeing as how they're all peaceful monks, they're basically fucking defenseless. So you help them out for a bit, and then you find Maya, who's used for like 2 hours in this game.
Wow.
He heard my cry and pity every groan. Ooh, Lord, long as I live, oh Lord, and trouble rise, I'll hasten to his throne. Oh, yes, I will. keep it. Told them niggas secrets. Then they lay down and told the love easy to leave. Now you don't need it, left me bleeding like a killer. Papa, where you been? When you coming back? So far away. I probably go fly away where granny at. On the highway, ain't been asleep since Friday. I'm chasing them around with DGT, that shit like playing with me. Told them bring back just talk to shit, but mama, she say she praying for me. That shit, that'll be love. Told me I don't want no her ever grateful, she opened her door. Got niggas off, they couldn't stay on one accord. And they trying to use my voice, youngest, the world is yours. Papa, where you been? When you coming back? I don't plan on coming. Tell me why they got my grandma at. Years later, still can't seem to stomach that. Before I respond to them, I'd rather count 100 racks. Try to put them on, they ain't want no racks. Wanna get put on, can't flip no back. Won't be too long. Won't be too long till I got shit back. Fuck 'em, run and tell 'em. No free game, I gotta sell 'em now.
Damn. What the heck? It went backwards. I ain't even hit the back button. I ain't even hit the back button.
Forever young. Said about we'll never pass 12, my nigga. But how the hell, my nigga, ain't little 621. If you get a chance to ever live again, I'll meet you back in 2010. So we can have a life, no worries. Don't rush, no hurry. I'll be right here whenever you're ready. We young forever. Forever young. 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 Forever young.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. the heck? Boom, 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 boom. Boom. What you over there playing a Viking?
Barkov.
Barkov.
Gotta collect all the moonshine I can while they're just giving it to you for free.
Barkov. Darkov. Yeah, I do need to check the freaking auction house for everything expire, I guess. One freaking dark and darker, real quick. Cause I haven't played that in a little bit. They about to reset their season soon.
Oh yeah, that's right. shot in the chest.
There has been a sword. Barony. Oops. This game is currently unrated. Unrated.
people of Walton. This is your mayor, John Ward. Now, I want to take a moment to thank y'all for your patience, resolve in these most challenging times. It's that Southern spirit, it's that Texas grit that gives me full confidence that we'll not only get through this crisis, but come out stronger on the other side. And I only wish I could be here to see it, huh? However, folks, I regret to announce that today I'll be moving my office to a secure spot outside the city limits. Now, no need to go assuming the worst. All right. This move is strictly to facilitate better coordination with our boys in uniform, who are at this very moment putting together a surefire plan to retake our city and eradicate the... Huh? Let's get wait. Where? Excuse me. So just, hold tight, secure your homes, and I assure you... Hello? The tide will turn. God bless you. God bless you.
I'm not sure if anyone out there is still listening to this trash, but if you are, know this.
No, you're not, Cosmo. That's cap.
You. There's no plan. Look. What they did, it's wrong. It's all wrong. We are trapped. And staying here isn't an option. You have to get out. Escape the city any way you can. Get out now.
T Viking, Cosmo got a turtle.
What?
Turns out the turtle fun was real. All along.
Just not your turn.
It's for all turtles worldwide. The turtle fun is it's very important. Some would say it's mandatory. The cat distribution system. No, it's when you you donate everything you have to help the turtle.
Gotta pay someone to pull all the straws out of their noses.
Put your whole paycheck in for the turtle and the turtle only. Your whole life savings, and for the turtle. Well, how did you end up with a freaking turtle?
Is it a Ninja Turtle?
Like, how the heck does that happen? How do you get a turtle? And it wasn't playing. This is like the fucking worst duo ever. Freaking pacifist and freaking haunted. Holy shit. You literally, you can't send nobody out to go and help you bring back stuff. Cause if she gets fucking hit, she just gonna get nightmare. And if she gets in a fight, she not gonna do any damage.
What are you playing?
This war is not mine, or this war of mine remixed.
What the hell is that?
My cousin yesterday for his found a turtle and how you just gonna snatch that? How you just gonna snatch the turtle up like that? Y'all turtle napped him. That turtle had a routine that he used to do every day. What the heck is a baby turtle? She kidnapped a baby. I thought you meant like a big ass turtle.
Is it a snapping turtle?
No, it's like the size of a freaking.
Granny turtle?
It's like the size of a freaking a rock. A freaking. The turtle need a jacuzzi.
Try to turn him to turtle soup?
Nah, turtles can live in a jacuzzi. How you gonna say he's not a water turtle, but your hand is wet?
So
Make it
he's a tortoise, not a turtle.
make sense. Your hand is wet while you're holding him, but you say he's not a water turtle, but you got water all around him. you got you got water all around him in your hand because we had to clean him off.
Is his name Squirtle?
Box turtle. What the fuck is a box turtle? You putting them in a box? Why you putting a turtle in jail?
Does he have little boxing gloves?
You better poke some holes in the box, Cosmo, and give him a jacuzzi. What is this? Shit.
Turtle
Turtle.
boxing.
Turtle simulator. I'm not giving him a. Why not? Get a turtle a jacuzzi. You gotta play some like ocean music next to him too. Give him one of them little, the cheap like plastic fans and stuff like that. Just turn that on by him. Yeah, ocean turtle today. That's why you teach them how to swim. Teach them how to swim. Give them some floaties.
Some dog paddles.
Give them some floaties. You gave a lizard a leash. Give the freaking turtle some floaties. No, put a floaty underneath them. You put that, listen, you put that turtle in some floaties, he'll be TikTok famous by the night. By tonight. So y'all been feeding him tomatoes?
Just missing the mayonnaise.
Feed him a donut. Give him a donut. Give him a donut. I know you got a donut over there, Cosmo. No, this turtle exclusive. He can eat bread. You feed him beef, he gonna eat you. He'll be like, who the heck is biting my foot off? It's gonna be turtle. He gonna come to get you. He was looking at y'all like hamburgers.
This time, I've got it.
That one. There. Ah! I got attacked by a freaking sneeze. Blue. That. And that one. Grab this. One of those two. closet is closed. Cosmo, what in the world is that? What in the world is that? What in the world? What is that? That was loud. What the fuck? Mistfall. They needed they need another word for like they need another word for like these like medieval type of games that are like that are like freaking extraction based. Because it's, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that they're like going under the title of extraction as shooter. It's like what the hell?
Well, it tells you what kind of game it is.
Yeah, but I still feel like they could have their like own type of style genre with it to categorize it.
Extraction looter.
Yeah, even that would work. The only thing you could possibly shoot is a wand or spells, I guess, but not everybody's shooting spells. They swinging blades and arrows. And throwing knives. And hatchets. Far, far west. All players start with this here. Just, let me give me like a breakdown. Where did game review at?
It mixes fast-paced shooting with the vital information first. This isn't exactly a brand new early access release, as Witchfire has been in early access on Epic Games since September 2023. This is good for us Steam users, as the game has received updates, changes and content additions. Do not misunderstand that as a full release, as this game is still gonna remain in early access until probably around late 2025. Now, to quickly explain what the game is about,
Why
the
you not getting
developers
a poll?
used to describe it as a mix of Souls-like,
Why not?
action and roguelite gameplay. And while the concept of the game didn't change, they found that the game transformed enough that they are now calling it an RPG shooter instead. For example, the game's gameplay loop is more
He can have like a pool, right? You can have like a pool, right? But like a little bit of water in it. Just a little bit.
action-packed and less slow and dreamlike than a Souls-like. And the roguelite features in this game are not as random or unpredictable as in most roguelites. The game is set in a dark fantasy world and you are playing as a prayer. You can choose between 6 archetypes and are basically an immortal warrior working for the Catholic Church to hunt witches in an alternate version of our world. It mixes fast-paced shooting with slower exploration. Basically you go on these expeditions and have to gather witchfire, which can be seen as the equivalent to Souls, as you
Doesn't need a foot spa. Foot spa.
you lose it if you die. You can, however, try to get that witchfire back on your next attempt. The game also has a system called Arcana, which are basically power-ups you get during your runs, and they only last for these runs. These Arcana are
Cosmo being a super strict turtle mom over there, apparently. Saying what he doesn't need.
part of what gives the game some of its roguelite feel. The game's map shows you things like enemy
first
camps,
kidnap
treasure
little
chests,
guy.
and other points of interest.
Can't do.
Thanks. Kidnap him. Now you restrict him from even getting water on his feet. He can't even be a turtle no more. He don't know what he is anymore.
Well, his dream's about
Introduced
becoming a Ninja Turtle.
He about to start barking. you think he a dog now?
Meow. Meow.
Like you gave him a freaking water bowl. He don't even know if he a freaking cat or a dog now. You know, he in the house. You don't know what he is anymore.
not too long ago is a new progression system they are calling Gnosis. This one is separate from your regular stats and represents your character's understanding of dark magic. There are 10 levels of Gnosis. This progression system is not optional, as you have to level it up to progress the game. The guns in this game really feel like a mix of Destiny and Doom, which should be taken as a compliment. The combat rewards chain kills and dodging, and you also have spells that can certainly help in tough situations. You can also unlock special abilities for pretty much all of your weapons by completing specific tasks. The last thing we are taking a look at are the calamities. This game features some kind of special events, which are called calamities. These happen during gameplay and occur when the witch you are hunting is cursing you. So basically they are meant to add more challenge and drama to the game. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected,
What the hell? Update 9 days ago. Video. It's about to rain. It's storming outside.
Welcome to Flip Bro's no bullshit review on the game Witchfire. Witchfire makes you feel like you're playing a first-person shooter version of Dark Souls or Elden Ring, but then as you keep playing, you realize it's much more similar to an extraction shooter. Oh yeah, and the game pisses you off sometimes. Witchfire is a first-person shooter, adventure, roguelike, early access game according to Google. And I have two things to say about this. This game 100% should be considered an RPG, and I'm absolutely sick of seeing games in early access. Like, holy shit, finish your game before releasing. That's a new idea. Talking to all you game companies out there. Witchfire was developed by the Astronauts. As for the story in Witchfire, there is an intro cutscene. However, coming right from the devs blog post, Witchfire is not a story-based game. Instead, they opt to tell the story through interacting with the world, very much following the footsteps of the Dark Souls series. If you'd like to help us out, throw us a subscribe. The game gives you more than one option. And on to the menu settings. In general, you have your language, which by default is English. More to come after early access. Video, you have all your normal video settings with your FPS limits, your shadows, your textures, your foliage, all those things. Your audio, pretty simple audio settings. Your general gameplay, so if you want to change how your crosshair looks, or your ammo count is visible, or your damage numbers are visible, or mini-map. And controls, which is broken down into 3 sections. General, aim action, crouch action, UI hold delay. Keyboard and mouse. I think the most important part for keyboard and mouse is your dash mode, where you can cycle through single key, double tap a direction key, or double tap quick run. Another useful part in here is your spell mode, where you can do a single key, so my key is F and I can hold F for a heavy spell, or you can separate them between 2 keys. And there's controller support. The graphics in Witchfire fulfill the dark fantasy theme very well. You'll explore these gothic, cursed lands and have areas filled with just dread. But more importantly, in my experience, the graphics do not impact performance in a negative way. If I had frame drops, I don't even remember it. And for a game where there's a lot going on in certain areas between the dashing, the explosions, the particles, the enemy projectiles, the on-screen effects, this game felt great to play. And to back up that performance statement, the system requirements here are not crazy at all in 2025.
1060.
The recommended specs are an i5 and a GTX 1060. As for the voiceovers in the game, the only voiceover that I remember was in the intro cutscene. And like we said, the story doesn't really matter, so the voiceover is what it is. And for sound effects, they're great. The only problem I had with the sound effects, I think there's a slight cognitive overload of how many different sound effects trigger different things. Sometimes it gets pretty hard to kind of distinguish what is going on, but the proximity to where enemies are to you and those sound effects are great. Typically we would talk about the gameplay right now, but I want to take one small detour and talk about the gunplay. Damn, that sounds kinky. As an ex-Counter-Strike Source professional and someone who does day one raids in Destiny 2 and has way too many hours in FPS games, I'm pretty picky about how they feel. The gunplay in Witchfire is pretty butter smooth, and honestly, the fact that they got this part right is probably the most important thing that they've gotten right in the entire game, because if the gunplay sucked, this game would suck. Alright, on to the gameplay. The gameplay loop happens like this. You start at home and prepare for your next expedition. You could do things like level up, change your gear, upgrade your gear, and research different items at the workshop and other things that we'll cover later. Then when you're all prepared and ready to die, you're gonna head out and start a new expedition. Pick the map that you want to do your expedition on. There's all these
Just
different
like
events,
Vermintide.
obstacles, bosses, and even familiars, which are big bosses. Once you get through enough of the area, complete it or die, and by completing means entering one of these portals and leaving with what you've earned. You'll make your way back home, see what you've recovered, and start again. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into all those mechanics. Alright, you can shoot. You also have a second weapon to shoot. You also have a demonic weapon to shoot, which is like a heavy weapon. You can double jump. You can also use their double jump to prevent fall damage. You can dash. You can slide. You have a melee attack. You can cast a light spell. You can cast a heavy spell. You have a stamina bar in the bottom left. Actions like jumping, dashing, and sliding all cost stamina. Let's talk a little bit more about why the stamina bar is yellow. That is when you know you're in focus. Focus is a very key mechanic because when you dash and look at somebody, you'll see these little glowing red orbs. These orbs, when broken, will stun the enemy, also causing the enemy to take more damage. This is the mechanic that separates a good player from a bad player in this game. If you get hit or cursed, you will lose your focus. The way you get your focus back is by killing enemies. When you have completed a skull on the map, you will unlock the ability to absorb Manifestation. Manifestation is like your roguelike perks. You can see here I can pick kill reload or fast reload. When you open chests on an expedition, sometimes you'll get white raven feathers. You use them on this Arcana page. You can unveil new choices with raven feathers, cost 1. And let's say I pick any of these, you can awaken other ones, which just allows you to have more perks. This costs 3 raven feathers. Also, when absorbing manifestations, you regen health a little bit. When you're running out of ammo, or you just want to stock up on demonic ammo, look on your minimap for this ammo chest icon. They're these blue chests. You open them, you get full ammo and demonic ammo. Actually, I don't know if you get full, but you get a lot of ammo and demonic ammo. You also have regular chests. Gold is used to research items at the workshop. And I got demonic ammo. You can also collect flowers. You can collect witchfire clusters. You can hit X to open your active quest. You can eat mushrooms. Not all mushrooms are helpful though. I'm not really sure how to tell which ones are helpful or not. That one was not helpful, and it made me lose focus. As you see here, going to full health is not the thing that gives you back your focus. You do have to kill enemies to get your focus back. You have healing elixirs, so when you take damage, you can use one. Like all FPS games, you can sprint. If you couldn't sprint, that would be a major problem. If you get cursed enough in an expedition, a calamity will be summoned and you'll have to deal with it. You can deal with it in one of 2 ways. You can either end it early by finding where it's spawning and doing the event, or you can kill whatever comes out of it and hope you live. Out in the world, you're gonna find a series of puzzles, and trust me when I say this game has a ton of puzzles ranging from small little chests that open up and do something cool to these big bonfire puzzles that take some actual thought. This game is not lacking in puzzles. At home, which is called a hermitorium, you can do a whole bunch of stuff to prepare for your next expedition, starting with ascending. Ascending is like leveling up. What can your character wear? You can wear a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, and a demonic weapon. You have 2 spells, a light spell and a heavy spell. You have a relic, which is offensive, a fetish, which is defensive, and a ring, which affects your dashing and movement. And you have your equipped gear table, where you change out what you want to bring on your expedition. I do wish that they would let you do this from anywhere at home. I don't really see why you're forced to go to a table. Once you get far enough in the game, you'll unlock prophecies. Prophecies increase as you increase your gnosis level. And as you can see here, you get prophecies that are tied to certain aspects, which will force this row to be of that type and give you a power. So in this case, when I get to this row in my expedition, unlocking arcanas, this arcana row will be tied to ammo, and I'll get the additional benefit of increasing the power of each awakened arcanium with at least 10 white raven feathers in my inventory. The workshop lets you set up research so that you can unlock new items. Here you can see that we have a 35-minute timer. I believe it's minutes that you spend in an expedition. And we have multiple weapons, demonic weapons, light spell, heavy spell, your relic, fetish, ring, and your upgrades for weapons. If you come over to the enhanced gear table, you have a gear that can be enhanced. It'll show up here. What does that mean? If I go to a weapon, you can see here, I have levels 1, 2, and 3. When you finish the prerequisites for a level, you can come to this table and enhance them. How do you make the game harder, you ask, or unlock more stuff? Well, you study Gnosis. Just make sure you read or take a screenshot of what unlocks when you actually study Gnosis, because as far as I'm aware, you cannot go back to seeing what you unlock. I could not find a single setting in the game to figure out what the little dialogue pop-up had, and so what I did is I literally made a new character. I wish the game would keep a journal or something that you can reference when you forget what it actually unlocked. There is a shop in town. It is not unlocked by default. You have to increase your gnosis first, but just rest assured, as you get far enough in the game, you will unlock a shop. Also at home, you can mix incense before you leave. These do a wide array of things. Like this one is absorbing manifestations, increase max health, spellcasting restores minor health, healing effects restore an additional 5 HP, and so forth. And something that I found really interesting is that they have this big ass room with another table, a table in the middle, and this cool looking table, and the only thing you can do is mix incense. So talk about an early access letdown. I did not play Witchfire when it first came out, so maybe this table used to do something, or maybe it's planned to do something. It looks cool, but it does nothing, which kind of sucks. You have an inventory. You want to know if multiplayer is supported because this game looks awesome, right? Well, so do I. I can't imagine that this game is going to be a single player experience only, but so far it's only single player. That's a major letdown for a game like this. Being the extraction shooter it is, I see no reason why you couldn't have multiplayer runs where everyone got their own perks, got their own Witchfire, and even wanted to go through the game together. Please add multiplayer. Witchfire has no cosmetics that you can unlock, but Witchfire also has no pay to win aspects, which in my book is a plus. To recap, Witchfire, the dark fantasy RPG extraction shooter, influenced heavily from the Dark Souls series and has butter smooth gameplay like Destiny 2. Witchfire, however, suffers greatly from the lack of multiplayer and the lack of content. In my honest opinion, Witchfire had potential to be Game of the Year. I think the thing it's missing is this. You know how when you played Dark Souls, you died a ton, you got pissed, you learned maps, you learned where the enemies are going to ambush you, and you got then through an area and you felt great? This game is missing that, and I think the extraction shooter part of it kind of ruins that. That being said, when you do upgrade Gnosis levels, the game does unlock a little bit more with more content, and that content is fun the first time. In our patented 0 to 1 scale, we will rate this game a 0.91 out of 1 the first time you play it, and a 0.78 for replayability. Again, the first experience is fantastic, but the game gets old really quickly. If you like these no bullshit review videos, please like, share, and subscribe. And as spring rolls around, go take a look at your grass. Make sure it's cut.
Hey Viking,
Uh,
ready to play GCFO?
fuck no.
On Earth. thought freaking Dune Awakening take long to download shaders. Holy shit. Like, great. Yeah, I'm running out of steam. I ain't gonna lie. No pun intended, because you know we're playing on Steam, but you know. But yeah, I'm freaking running out of steam. I'm freaking probably about to crash and go to sleep. I ain't gonna lie. Freaking running off of 3 hours, and it's been 14-hour stream, so yeah. Yeah. I think I'm about to crash. I'm sleepy. Which I know if I sleep right now, then I'm probably gonna wake up like around probably like 9 or 10. 11, something like that. Yeah, facts. I got that Cosmo schedule. That Cosmos schedule. Right, Cosmo? Stop treating them like Squidward. Stop treating the freaking turtle like Squidward. Get him out of the box. Out of the cup. Oh, forget it. A Cosmo. Cup though? What you mean? He can't even do a 360 in there. Everywhere you turn, you're staring at a wall. You got him in jail. You put the turtle in jail. Turtle like, free me. It was just yesterday. He was just outside munching on crickets. Now he in a cup. Alright, well, I'm in stream here. I will catch y'all later. Until next time.